I was muted again. Hello everybody, welcome on in. You've probably already been here, but welcome back in if you were around earlier for the stream where Calmage ate Little Caesars. Well, I hope you had fun with us as we hung out there. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Yeah, yippee! Yeah, I'm gonna be streaming for a little bit longer. Let's see here. So I'm trying to find a category on Twitch for like audio editing and editing, I guess. Having a hard time discovering it though. Like, as people have rated in with this category, but I can't remember what it's called. There's the music category, which could work, but it's not actually music. You see a free cheap one about Audacity. No. I don't mean a program. I mean a category. If you'll look at what's in the background, this is Audacity. No, the category on Twitch for audio editing. I got here after the Little Caesars. Can we get Kel to do it again? Maybe. He did say that he was keeping the pizza. So anything's possible at this point. Huh. Let me try Googling this. Still need to wake up. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You're all good. Twitch category for editing. I could just stick to just chatting. Some people are saying art. No. I know there's a category for it. Oh, I guess I'll just stick to special events. I could have sworn somebody rated in with that category. Well, if I ever get an art with a raid with that again, I'm gonna write down the category.
Creature. Is it
Hello.
No, for the last time, Paimon is not emergency food.
Hello, Need for Speed. Welcome on in, and Fudge. Thank you for the costume swap over here. Hello, Orc. Oh no, what's happening? I'm doing. Oh, I haven't pushed play on the timer. Whoopsies. I'm a brainlet. Let's go. There we go. Now the timer's actually working. Yee, Audacity stream. Well, let me go through the redeems and get rid of the ones that are not applicable. So I'm gonna refund that. Mark that off. So shout out to Sugar the Beast and Kaboom Inc. and Cringy Kronk for getting first, even though technically Suyoku got first. But shout out to you guys for getting first for all of the resets. Also, I want to apologize for how many times that the stream goes down during the day. It's probably really annoying to always keep getting pinged in the Discord or pinged on Twitch and then like have it not actually be going live. But oh well. Yeah, I see. I'm gonna refund this. 9 hours ago, a dab from Cringy Kronk, and 38 minutes ago, Jazz Hands from Fudge. I mean, I might as well do this. Jazz Hands. Fudge is in the chat. There you go. That was pretty jazzy. And a dab. Ooh, let's see here. Here. Oh, that was halfway decent. Here. Oh, I'll count that. And that'll happen You have never had so many Discord pings when I was working in my life, but it's okay. Finally saw it out. I only just got on. Saw it as soon as I got on, but yeah, I have had a very busy day today, and unfortunately, when I went over to Kelmages and we did the stream over there, that was the first chance I had to stream. I apologize, but Wednesdays are not good days for streaming for me. I usually don't stream on them. But the jazziest of hands. Hey, nice. Or you can always temporarily opt out of the get pinged category. Or I guess I could always just edit the bot and have it not ping people during the subathon. I don't know. It's actually okay? Alright. How dare you have a life outside? Twitch is your home now? Apparently, according to the subathon, that is in fact what's going on here. Work from home? I mean, but you're still getting pinged on Discord while you're trying to work. Alright, so the plan for today. Let me double check dates for you so I can get you guys an accurate read on this. What does this do? The 25th. So on the 25th, I have due an entry in the Bionicle audiobooks chapters. Oh wait, I need to reopen that. So if you guys, most of you guys are probably aware, some of you guys probably aren't. I'm part of a project for turning all of the Bionicle books into audiobooks. Since there isn't an official audiobook release of them. So they're all available for free on YouTube. Yeah, it's due on the 25th, and I was going to do it after the subathon, but apparently the subathon is going to go forever, so I figured I might as well do it live. And I tried to gauge interest a couple of months back and ask if people were interested in having an editing stream, and nobody really seemed enthusiastic about it. But tough, you're getting an editing stream because this thing is due and I need to work on it. And all of my free time goes into the subathon, so tough. But yeah, Audacity, I'm going to be recording and also editing a chapter in the Bionicle audiobooks. More like work from home. Cringe cock. Why? But yeah, hopefully that answers your question there, Reborn. No, I asked in the Discord, I'm like, is anybody going to be interested in an editing stream? And you know what people said? Oh, you're looking for ideas for different streams? Here, you should check out this game. You should check out this game. And I'm like, okay, but would you guys be interested in an editing stream? And like, nobody gave me a straight answer. It was very frustrating. Alright, alright. So, I will work on this. So I have chapter 7. Oh, hey! There are still some blank spots for the next book. I could take a blank spot. Oh, nice. I will do that later. I'll figure out which chapter I want. So yeah, chapter 7 and chapter 9 are mine. So, I need to read them and work on them. Alright, where's chapter 7? Here we go. Chapter 7. So the question is, do I keep the background music on because it's not going to be in the recording? I'll have to turn it off when I do the thing here anyway. Yeah, I'll turn off the background music. But so yeah, get ready for a bedtime story as I read the chapter for you guys. Right, I do voices for all the people, and I don't remember everybody's voices. In fact, I don't know. Have I voiced Antros before? Alright, let's see. Who's in this chapter? There's Antros, there's Mutran. Antros. They have a conversation. After that, There's Gorast, Mutran, Gorast, Mutran. Vampra? Oh no, Icarax. Okay, Icarax. So it's a bunch of the Makuta. Radiac. Alright, I need a voice for Radiac. Solek, Tanma. Oh, there's so many characters this chapter. So, Takanuva. Oh, there's so many characters this chapter. Chirox. I don't think I've voiced Chirox before. Opaka. Ugh, there's like a million characters here. Okay. Okay. So, let me look back at my previous chapters and see who I have voiced. So, I've read chapter 4. That one had Mutran and Icarax in it. So, that was semi-recent. So, I kind of remember what their voices are. For the other guys' voices, I'm going to have to listen to a chapter that I have done for my previous book. Let's see. Oh, this is gonna take a lot more effort than I thought it would. I miss Calmage. He should stream more. I keep telling him that. Apparently he is quite busy nowadays, and he doesn't really have a lot of time to stream, unfortunately. So yeah, this has been the most he streamed in a really long time. He's with him taking over the afternoon streams with my channel, which is like incredibly helpful. Oh, speaking of taking over my channel, so tomorrow I should have a lot of time to stream. I should be able to hit a big chunk of the Subathon tomorrow. I will have to leave in the evening at around 6 PDT, I think. But I'll be back in the evening, and the whole rest of the day should be a stream. So I'll come back in the morning because I set aside some time for the Subathon. Feels like Neb at night, like the slightly cooler, edgier Neb that comes on late at night for teens. Calmage does let a lot more slide than I would, for sure. Yeah, I'll go to good rest. So I think what I'm gonna do with this chapter, because I'm gonna have to look up a lot of voices, and I should have done that before. That's gonna be boring with you guys just watching me look up voices. So I'm just gonna record it, and I'm not going to record the people who I don't know what they sound like. So you're gonna have gaps in the conversation. No, I'll read it for you, but I'll just have to go back and edit it later with other voices. All right, let me grab this. Oh, you're fine, Reborn. Don't worry about it. Yep, I'll get some sleep. I'll have a good eat. I'll sleep in tomorrow, and then as soon as I wake up, I'm gonna start streaming, and then I should be with you guys. No, I have an appointment in the morning. Okay, so I'll stream for like an hour, and then I'll go to the appointment, and then I'll come back and I'll stream until the evening. So most of the day is going to be streamed. Okay, alright, Bionicle chapter. So, here's context. Bionicle. Obviously, the regulars are familiar with it. If you're not familiar with it, Bionicle was a Lego line that ran for about 10-ish years. And I don't know if I'll be on the stream. Don't worry about it. I appreciate that you still try to keep making the streams. So yeah, Bionicle was a toy line from Lego that ran for about 10 years, and the story went harder than it had any right to. The story for this Lego toy line was incredible. The lore was unparalleled. The story was great. The characters, despite the fact that they introduced like 12 new characters every year, like the characters were all unique and likable, and it was like incredibly well done. And it was a huge part of my childhood, and I really enjoyed the story. And the story so far, this is the last book of the third series. So, and after it, there's no more series. There's just a standalone book about Bar Magna, and then I think 2 more novels that were like one of them, well, The Legend Reborn, I think, was the novelization of the 4th movie. And then I don't know what Journey's End was. Probably something like that, another novelization of something. So not counting the standalone book that takes place on another planet, this is the grand climax of the books. So it starts off. So you have the Brotherhood of Makuta, who are the bad guys, and you have the Toa, who are the good guys. And they're in Cardanui, which is the heart of the universe. And the Toa, or the good guys, are trying to reawaken Matanui, the great spirit, who has been cast into an eternal slumber by Makuta, the main Makuta Pterodax. And so the Toa are trying to awaken him, and they're super close to succeeding. However, the Brotherhood of Makuta is there, and they are trying to stop them. Rude, Ark. This was made by ClairVT, who has since rebranded to Ivexa, I believe. It was made as a gift for free. The face is very different, I suppose, but the skin itself is not bad. It's not ugly. It's different. It's just very different from what I normally look like. Alright, have a good night, Podge. Take care. It's got a princess dress. Here, let me zoom out a little. Ta-da! It's a nice floofy princess dress. Why does it look like a spacesuit? Cause I'm space themed. Space. Space. Oh, and now I'm back. Wow, that was very well timed. Much dress, such floof. Wow. Alright, you sleep well, Fudge. Have a good one. Thanks for joining us. Alright, so what else do I need to tell you about Bionicle? So Toa are good guys, Makuta are bad guys, Matoran are workers who live in Cardanui. They're being oppressed by the Makuta. The Makuta have weapons called shadow leeches that they can use to turn people evil. Mutran made a critter called a Clack that escaped, and one of the Toa, named Takanuva, is trying to use that creature to help turn his buddies, the Matoran, back into good guys. And the Makuta are freaking out because the Toa are close to achieving their goal. I think that's about it for a recap. Alright, I'm gonna read the book. And again, I'm going to not do voice acting for people who I don't know what they sound like Antros, for example. So I will just read what he says normally. I'll put a bookmark in the spot where he says it, so I'll come back later, re-record with his actual voice, and then I will edit that in. So this is not going to be the final product. But when I'm done with it, you can listen to it on Tuatapio Nuva's YouTube channel, where he has all the audiobooks. A space princess suit? Heck yeah. Alright, I am going to turn off the background music so I can focus on this. So apologies if you guys really like the background music, but it's gone. Alright. Here goes. I'm going to start it the same way Tapio has us start all of his books, or all of his chapters. So, here goes. If you guys make any noises, I will have to pause and restart that sentence at least. So fair warning, you might see me doing that. Alright, here goes. Bionicle Legends number 11, The Final Battle. Written... Oh, wait, it's not recording me. Why is it not recording me? I want... Oh, I know. Playback device. Yeah, that's right. Host. Ah, here we go. That's why. Recording device. This. Alright, cool. Should be good now. Bionicle Legends number 11. The Final Battle. Battle? I said that weird. Let's start over. Bionicle Legends number 11. The Final Battle. Written by Greg Farshty. Recording by Nebulux. Chapter 7. Mutran was growing impatient. Mutran was growing impatient. He had sent Vicon... Let's start that over. Mutran was growing impatient. He had sent Vikan off after the clack a long time ago, and he had not returned, nor had the escaped Rahi. There was no excuse for this. Maybe it was time he gave Vikan a few extra things, and maybe it... I messed up. Here, let's just start this whole thing over. From the beginning. Bionicle Legends number 11, The Final Battle. Written by Greg Farshty. Recording by Nebulux. Chapter 7. Mutran was growing impatient. He had sent Vikan off after the clack a long time ago, and he had not returned, nor had the escaped Rahi. There was no excuse for this. Maybe it was time he gave Vikan a few extra wings, and maybe a tentacle or two to teach him to focus on his job. His grumbling ceased at the sight of Antros materializing in front of him. The crimson-armored Mikuta had made several short teleports to reach this part of the swamp, and his fatigue showed. "It is time," said Antros. "We have to be prepared." Mutran furled and unfurled his small wings, a sure sign he was uneasy. He dropped his voice to a whisper and said, "Is this really wise, letting them wake up the Great Spirit? What if he remembers who put him to sleep in the first place?" Antros shot a fierce look at Mutran. "You know the plan, you agreed to it and profited from it, and you will carry it out. Our orders were clear: delay the Toanuva until the appointed hour, allow them to awaken Machnui, and then eliminate them as a threat. Only they could revive the Great Spirit, so they had to remain alive. So they had to remain alive to do so, but we don't need to suffer their presence 1 moment past that." "All right," said Mutran. "What do you want me to do?" "Find Radiac or another Shadow Matoran so my sight can be restored, then go help Gorast against Icarax. If he kills the Toanuva before they carry out their mission, the plan is doomed." Mutran nodded and took to the air to carry out his new instructions. Mutran took to the air to carry out his new instructions, but knowing Antros could not see him, he did not fly very fast. He saw no reason to fly headlong into the blades of Icarax. Gorast could have used the help. Icarax's strategy was as simple as it was deadly. Slash open her armor, and then use laser vision to incinerate her energy as it leaked out. The success of this method had forced her to keep her distance from Icarax and left Vampra alone in the fight. But now she had a plan of her own. In combat, Icarax had no equal, but his love of battle could also be a weakness. Icarax had no equal, but his love of battle could also be a weakness. Gorast knew this well, for it was a weakness she shared. Still, for her scheme to work, she needed a distraction. That was when she spotted Mutran, far off to the west. He was He was dispatching a Shadow Matoran on some unknown mission, and when that was done, he glanced toward where Vampra and Icarax were fighting. He looked about as eager to join that battle as a Matoran of stone is to join a group swim. Too bad the fool doesn't have a choice, Gorast said to herself as she... Too bad the fool doesn't have a choice, Gorast said to herself as she shot toward him. Before Mutran could protest, she was dragging him toward the scene of the clash. I do have a voice for Gorast.
I need you to send your thoughts into Icarax's mind, she hissed. Any thoughts, screams, babble, anything so that he does not pick up on what I am sending to Vampra.
Mutran nodded. That seemed relatively safe. Safer, at any rate, than saying no to an enraged... Safer, at any rate, than saying no to an enraged Gorast.
Then do it now!
Mutran sent a telepathic wave of white noise at Icarax. As he did so, Gorast sent a mental message of her own to Vampra. Once she was sure it had been received, she moved in to attack. Gavla had made her way back to Vampra's back, so the Makuta could see once more. He darted and dodged, staying out of... excuse me. Gavla had made her way back to Vampra's back, so the Makuta could see once more. He darted and dodged, staying out of reach of Icarax's blades and parrying his blasts of laser vision and her... He darted and dodged, staying out of reach of Icarax's blades and parrying his blasts of laser vision and his hurled lightning. This gave Gorast the chance to swoop in behind Icarax and land a crushing blow with 2 of her 4 arms. As Icarax whirled to face this new opponent, Gorast backed off, laughing. Alright, I gotta turn the page. Let me do that now.
No need to worry, Vampra, she said. Mutran brings a message from below. The Toa Nuva are about to awaken Matanui. The plan will succeed.
She knew how Icarax would react. All his hopes of someday leading the Brotherhood of Makuta depended on showing he had a better plan than the one they were following, and that meant the current plan had to fail. He couldn't allow the Toa Nuva to achieve their destiny. Vampra and Gorast blocked him from the Codex, but he was Makuta, with all the power that came with it.
Energy's back. I advise falling back.
Yo, OS Devin, thank you so much for the raid. Let me turn on some background music while you are here. Ba-da-da-da. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for the raid. I appreciate it. I don't know if there's a mod in the chat, but I will shout you out myself. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Oh, nope, Cringy Kronk got it. Nice. Thank you, Cringy. How was your stream? How was Life is Strange Remastered? That's the game that Calmage keeps wanting to get me to play. How you doing? Welcome on in to Mordecai the Brown, to Zalian, to Snacky Spice. Welcome in, everybody. Ayo. Heck yeah, a raid. Neb, who are you? Are you saying I need to introduce myself to the raiders? Sure. I am recording Bionicle stuff. Yo, based OS Devin recognizing Bionicle just from a couple seconds of hearing the recording. Based. I need to... Yeah. Yes, I am part of... Well, hello, my name is Nebulux. I am a family-friendly, safe-for-work streamer. I play a lot of Warframe, because Warframe looked like Bionicle, let's be honest. And yeah, I'm having a subathon because my birthday was on the 8th. As you can see, it is day 7 of that. Chat does not want me to sleep. But yes, I am part of a audiobook project run by Toa Tapio Nuva on YouTube. Hey, Snappy Spice, thank you so much for the follow. Don't mind the no you card in my hand. Thank you so much for the follow. Congratulations. You have ascended to the rank of Protostar. Feel free to flex on all them people who aren't Protostars because you are way cooler than them. Let's go. Only cool people become Protostars. But yeah, Totopia Nuva has a project where he is trying to make audiobooks of all of the Bionicle books because they don't have an official audiobook release. And I am part of the project. I have been part of the project ever since the Toa Hordika arc, the novelization of the Hordika movie, and I've been part of the project ever since. And I am currently reading a chapter from the final battle, which is the one in the Cardinui arc, where spoiler alert, where Matanui awakens. Let's go, sort of. But yeah, if you guys if you guys like Bionicles, I recommend it. Each chapter is done by a different person, so that might throw people off if you prefer audiobooks where the whole book is done by one person. But it's a good project, and Totopia Nuva has a lot of good archived Bionicle stuff on his channel, and he's also doing a comic, what is it? Audio drama of the comics, visual thing? I don't know. It's good. Blue Toa. Let's go. Yeah, there's a lot of Blue Toa out there. But yeah, based Bionicle enjoyer, OS7. Let's go. But yeah, I normally don't stream me recording and editing the Bionicle audiobooks, but it is due next week, and the Subathon is kind of preventing me from doing it in my own free time because I don't have free time. Free time goes to the Subathon. So yeah, I'm tough. If you guys do a Subathon, then you get me doing my projects live. Let's go. Which are our English audio dramas. Yo, have you heard the Star Wars audio drama? That's for free on YouTube. I listened to it and it's like really fascinating. I liked it. But yeah, hope you're having a great one. How was Life is Strange? Oh, and if you have to head out because you are exhausted, or you need to eat, or you need to drink, or you need to sleep or something, please don't feel pressured into staying. Did I threaten your chat? I don't think I threatened the chat. You guys are getting threatened with gun being pointed at you. If you guys have joined in on OS7's raid, you are being held at gunpoint, and now you need to tell us something cool about OS7. What is your favorite thing about OS7? Why do you keep going back to their streams? Or what can you get there that you can't get anywhere else? Become threatened. Ah. Thank you, Fudge, for the costume swap. This is Neb 2.0. This is what I used to look like back in Ye Day, before I got a new model. Please don't kill me. I recognize you, Bravo. You didn't come in on the raid, did you? Maybe you did. In which case, get threatened. Fell asleep. No wonder I had 2 tabs of Neb. Ah, nice. Very nice. I think Devin is super cool, so I was joined his lives. The game is super intense, and I love that girls are fighting for justice and well-being and safety of other girls. Aww, how wholesome. Yeet, the OS Devin raid happened. Alright, take care, Reborn. Thanks for stopping by. Glad you were finally able to make a little bit of a stream. Or dab? Alright, Mordecai. Here goes. I'll try to dab. It might work, it might not work, but here. That kind of was a dab. Alright, you got 1 dab out of that. Where is my list of things that I need to do? There we go. Dab has happened. Also, I didn't check and see if anybody followed while CalMage was live. No, nobody followed while CalMage was live. Alright, we're good. We are good. Alright, moving this over here so I can see the stuff. I don't know much about gaming stuff, but how does your character thing move when you move? What is this magic? So it's a combination of a bunch of stuff. So this is VTubing. If you look on Twitch, there's a lot of VTubers out there. It's not something new. Basically, it's a combination of I have face tracking happening, and then I have hand tracking happening. And the two together make all the movement happen. But yeah, I'm glad that it impresses you. Yeah, there's 2D VTubing and 3D VTubing. I'm a 3D VTuber, which means if I zoom out, I have feet, right? I have a whole body down here, as opposed to 2D VTubers where it's like, I think most of them are just torsos. And also, I can turn around. Can a 2D VTuber turn around? I didn't think so. I can stream facing away from chat, and I can do that. That's something that a 2D person can't do. Get wrecked. Can they turn around? I don't think so. I do have, on Mondays, I have full mocap streams. I play Ring Fit Adventure, and for that one, I have full tracking. Right now, I'm only tracking my head and my hands, but Ring Fit, I track everything. I track my feet, track my elbows, track the whole thing. The whole package. I didn't mean to dunk on Rooster. No! I did mean to duck on Calmage. Do you know what the back of Calmage's head looks like? I don't know, but you know what the back of my head looks like. No, I don't mean to dunk on people. I'm a good girl. Hello, Insane. Welcome in. Bald, that's the back of Calmage's head. That's why he never turns around. I see. Calmage is forthright and honest and would never turn his back on his friends. Aww. What a sweet and wholesome thing to say, Cringy Kronk. So naive. Yes, go on and get rest. Wow, Calmage pinned it. Amazing. Alright, well thank you everybody for joining in the raid. I would love to hang out and chat. And I encourage you guys to chat, but I'm going to go back to recording my thingamajigger. My Bionicle chapter. But yeah. Feel free to hang out, feel free to chat. I will take breaks once in a while to respond to chat and check the messages and make sure that nobody is promoting raccoons in this server or channel. But yeah, I'll head back. Have a good launch. Thank you for the love. Rude? I don't have the no you card in this model. Well, you know what that means. No you. Wow. Who did that? Bravo? Rude. No you, OS Devin. Get no you. Thank you for the raid. I think that Subathon will cause me to ascend all the way to VIP. Ah, there is a clever man right there. We do support the Nebula engine. I do not support the Nebula engine, but apparently it is canon, so I cannot deny the Nebula engine. What's your great news, Insane? Oh, the mega heat didn't work. Okay, I know how to fix this. I know how to fix this. It's loading. Weird. Alright, cool. I'm gonna refund your mega yeet. Oh wait, no, I need to... There we go. It's linked now. Let me get your mega yeet refunded. How do I do this? Refund. There you go. Alright, have a good lurk. Oh? Oh, that is good news, Insane. Hey, Fissany is gonna be playing Warframe. You finally bullied her into it? Nice. Oh, interesting. It called you Eternal Stare. That's cool. Probably bugged. Anyway, I'm gonna go back to the audio book. So I'm gonna pause the background music. But yeah, if you guys ever have any questions about anything at all whatsoever, doesn't even have to be related to the stream, please feel free to reach out and I will do my best to answer. Alright, what did I record? Vampra and Gorast blocked him from the Codex, but he was Makuta with all the power that came with it. Oh! Okay. Okay. Okay, where am I? Okay. Got it. Interesting. I see you guys have figured out how to break the lurk bot. Fisnathon. Alright, alright. Oh, Fisanathon. That's a lot better than Fisnathon. Fisanathon. Gotcha. What's 3 plus 4? 17. Wow. Can't believe the Nebula engine is lurking. Alright, I'm just gonna restart that paragraph. Remember Neb real quick, do you have all of your versions side by side somewhere in the server? Yes, I do, actually. Let me link it to you. Let me link it real fast. So that's gonna be under VTuber subsector in the Neb 4.0 contest. How do I do this? Copy message link, and I'm gonna paste it right there. And if you keep scrolling a little bit, you will also see my helmet, if you want a reference for my helmet. There you go. Hopefully that helps. Now 4.0, what's that? Prime soon. Listen. I have the subathon happened, so I can make 4.0 now. Yay. Anyway, alright. Let's go back to Bionicle. Alright. Oh, alright. Vampra and Gorast blocked him from the Codex, but he was a Makuta. Okay, no, forget this. Go with the first recording. With all the power that came with it, he would not be prevented from the battle he craved with the Toa. He would not be prevented from the battle he craved with the Toa, the battle he knew he had to fight if his dreams of conquest were to ever come true. Let's redo that. He would not be prevented from the battle he craved with the Toa. He would not be prevented from the battle he craved with the Toa, the battle he knew he had to fight if his dreams of conquest were to ever come true. I will deal with you later, he growled, his body shimmering as he began to teleport away. No! Screamed Gorast, grabbing Icarax and triggering her ability to make his power run wild. Vampra unleashed a burst of energy, even as the act of teleporting transformed Icarax's body into scattered atoms. Vampra's attack disrupted those atoms. The combination of the two, plus Gorast's attack was devastating. Hold up, my arms are freaking out. The combination of the two, plus Gorast's attack, was devastating. The sparkling molecules of Icarax's body shot off in a million different directions. Icarax's scream went from ear-splitting to a mere ghostly echo in a split second. Mutran stared at the empty space that Icarax had once occupied. What just happened? He asked. I should take a pause. What just happened? He asked. And that was repulsive, so how could we make it happen again?
When you teleport, your atoms are scattered and then drawn back together at your destination,
Gorast answered.
By increasing his power and then disrupting them at the crucial moment, they flew all over the known universe in an instant.
So Icarax will never finish his teleport?
Oh, he will finish. Gorast smiled. Part of him will finish in Cardinui, and part in Destral, and part in Metro Nui, and part in the Southern Islands, and other parts in 1,000 other places. You get the idea.
Mutran returned her smile. Icarax had always wanted to be a presence throughout the universe. Lost my page. Here we go. This method of achieving it was probably not quite what he had in mind. Takanuva with the three Matoran of Light and Radiac in tow had climbed through the sky to the Matoran villages. So far, it had been a frustrating search for this Rahi that Vikan claimed was called a Clack. The one thing everyone agreed on was that Clack was a really odd name. It was Radiac who spotted it first. If he hadn't said or done anything, the others might have missed it completely, but instead, he fired a shadow bolt in the Clack's direction, which went wide. The near miss was enough to anger the flying Rahi, which circled back and screamed at the Shadow Matoran. Takanuva was bracing to cut off another attack by Radiac. Radiac? I think it's Radiac. Takanuva was bracing to cut off another attack by Radiac. It turned out that wouldn't be necessary. Radiac blinked, shook his head, and dropped his hands to his sides. This time, when he struggled to get free of Takanuva's grasp, the Toa of Light let him go. Photok and Tonma immediately protested, but Takanuva cut them off. Radiac made no effort to escape. Instead, he looked around at the three Matoran of Light as if they were long-lost friends, which, of course, they were. Are you all right? I didn't hurt anyone, did I? Oh, please, Tonma said, disgusted that anyone was buying this obvious act. Tonma, wait a second. Solek said. Radiac, do you remember what happened to you? Radiac nodded, eyes downcast. I fought you, I tried to kill you. Radiac, said Photok. If you're really back on our side, what are the Makuta planning? I overheard Antraz talking once. He said the Makuta wanted the Toa to wake up Motunui, but he didn't say why. Then once the Great Spirit was awake, we would kill the Toa and corrupt any Matoran of Light who were left. Takanuva pondered. Radiac's transformation seemed incredible, but there had to be an explanation for it. Perhaps whatever the Shadow Leeches did to drain light from their victims also created some kind of barrier to prevent light from returning later. The sonic tones of the Clack's attack somehow shattered that barrier. With the return of light to the being, the corruption of the Makuta faded away. But if Radiac was telling the truth, how could the Makuta possibly benefit from Motunui waking up? But if Radiac was telling the truth, how could the Makuta possibly benefit from Motunui waking up? If they wanted him awake, why put him to sleep 1,000 years ago in the first place? And if his awakening was part of their plan, what did that mean? Did the Toa Nuva have to abandon fulfilling their destiny? Alright, Takanuva. I know what his voice sounds like. I am Takanuva, Toa of Light. Find the rest of the Shadow Matoran, he said to his 4 companions. Get them here. We're going to keep this Rahi good and angry and cure all the rest of them. No. Get them here. We're going to keep this Rahi good and angry and cure all the rest of them. And then we're getting all the Matoran out of this place. What? Said Tonma. You mean we're going to give it up to the Makuta? No way, this is our home and we'll fight for it. Listen to me, said Takanuva, grabbing Tonma by the shoulders and resisting the urge to shake some sense into the Matoran. The anger in his tone shocked the others to silence. No one is going to be fighting for anything. If Motunui awakens, this whole place, all of Cardinui, is going to be caught in the biggest energy storm you can imagine. Nothing will survive it. And that's why I'm getting every Matoran out of here, even if I have to drag you. So wrapped up were Takanuva and the Matoran in the argument that none of them noticed the ghostly form of Makuta Krika hovering nearby. At the news that all of Cardanui would be engulfed in a lethal storm as soon as the Great Spirit was awakened, a grim smile came to Krika's mouth. Very neat indeed, he thought. Makuta Pterodax sends his top lieutenants to Cardanui to make sure all goes according to the plan, but he neglects to inform us that our success here will end with us all dead. In one move, he achieves his ambitions and eliminates his potential rivals. Krika made a decision. Despite the risk, turn the page. He had, after all, allied with Icarax against the plan. He had, after all, allied with Icarax against the plan. He had, after all, allied with Icarax against the plan. He had to tell the other Makuta what he had learned. Pterodax was betraying them all and had to be stopped. Krika flew down toward the swamp, desperately trying to think of a way to convince his fellow Makuta that their greatest enemy was their leader. Two of those Makuta were much closer than Krika thought. Chirox and Bittel had followed Takanuva and the Matoran. Now that all four of the Toa's Matoran companions had scattered, the time had come to attack. Chirox struck first, using his mask power to make it impossible for Takanuva to hear their approach or call for help. Then it was Bittel's turn, using his mask to summon half a dozen other versions of himself from the past. Against 8 Makuta, Takanuva wouldn't have a chance. The attack began with a hail of shadow bolts, which struck Takanuva from behind. Under ordinary circumstances, that would have been enough to kill him. But since being partially corrupted by a shadow leech and drained of some of his light power, his resistance to shadow had increased. He turned to face his attackers. Since losing a portion of his light, Takanuva had struggled against the dark impulses that filled him. He was quicker to anger and had to resist the urge to strike out violently at obstacles in his way. But the sight of a horde of Makuta coming toward him stripped away the last of his self-control. Screaming soundlessly, he unleashed a barrage of light bolts. The Makuta scattered, but continued to advance. 3 of the Bittel doubles were trying to circle around behind him. Takanuva responded with lasers that sliced their proto-steel weapons to pieces. Then he whirled and hurled a flare right at Kirop, the Matoran who rode atop Chirox and served as the Makuta's eyes. The sudden flash temporarily blinded the Shadow Matoran, and the resulting loss of sight broke Chirox's concentration. Takanuva could hear and speak again. Turning the page. "Come on, then," the Toa of Light growled. "Come on! This won't be some Koli match passing for a battle. Any Makuta who gets near me dies." Oh, that sounded cheesy. "Come on! This won't be some Koli match. This won't be some Koli match passing for a battle. This won't be some Koli match passing for a battle. Any Makuta who gets near me dies." Chirox laughed. "You would be violating your code, Toa. Don't you know your kind never kills?" Takanuva's response was a light bolt that punched a small hole in Chirox's armor. Immediately, the green-black energy that made up a Makuta's substance began to leak out through the gap. "But I'm not my kind. Not anymore. Your shadow leeches saw to that," said Takanuva. "I'm half Toa of light, half Toa of shadow. This was what you wanted, wasn't it? Toa consumed by darkness. Toa not hampered by things like mercy or more. Toa not hampered by things like mercy or morality. Well, now you can choke on it." Takanuva rocketed forward, blasting light and shadow as he went. If he had been in his right mind, he would have realized charging into a mob of Makuta was suicide, but all he felt was his rage, and all he knew was that these beings were his enemies, and his enemies had to be destroyed. The Makuta had other ideas. One of the Bittels had managed to get above and behind Takanuva, and was raising his blade for a fatal strike. Then, a blast of light from an unexpected direction knocked the weapon from his hand.
You look like you could use a hand, brother. Oh, it's a shout. You look like you could use a hand, brother.
Shouted Kopaka, piloting the Jettrax T6. Wisps of light energy were still curling from the vehicle's sky blasters. Takanuva ignored him. He was fighting like a lunatic, tearing his way through Makuta, too startled to react. There was no strategy or plan behind his attack, just sheer brute force and unleashed rage. Excuse me. It was Kopaka who recalled what Toa Onua had said about Bittle's mask power. Targeting the one Bittle who was hanging back from the fight, Kopaka hit him with a Sky Blaster bolt. Startled, Bittle lost control of his mask power and his doubles vanished from view. Again, Takanuva didn't notice. He was bombarding Chirox with light bolts, too fast for the Makuta to be able to staunch the leak of his energy from his armor. Then, the Toa of Light tore Kirop off Chirox's back and hurled the Matoran down toward the swamp. Kopaka had seen enough. He swooped down in the Jettrax and caught Kirop before racing back to Takanuva. Trapping Kirop in ice bonds and setting the vehicle to hover, Kopaka leapt out into space and grabbed Takanuva.
Toa, stop this now,
he shouted.
Remember who you are.
I know who I am, Taka replied savagely. Tahu. Takanuva replied savagely. I'm what they made me.
Then you're letting them win, brother,
Kopaka said, forcing his voice to be calm.
You're admitting you are no better than they are. You're admitting you are no better than they are.
Slowly, reluctantly, Takanuva forced his violent emotions down. Seeing an opening, Bittle unleashed chain lightning, striking both Toa. By the time they recovered and looked around, Bittle and Chirox were gone.
This makes no sense,
said Kopaka.
He had us right where he wanted us, even with Chirox wounded. Why flee?
Because, answered Takanuva,
they know the Toa Nuva are destined to awaken Matanui, but they don't know which of you are needed to do it. Kill the wrong one, and their whole plan goes out like a light.
Their plan depends on us? Asked Kopaka in disbelief.
It's a long story, said Takanuva, and I better tell it to you, because whatever's going to happen, it's going to happen soon.
End of Chapter 7. Oh, that was Chapter 8. Did I read the wrong chapter? 7, 9. Did I skip a chapter? Does it go from 7 to 9? Huh? Is there no Chapter 8 in this book? Huh? It goes from 7 to 9. Is this a misprint? Bittle was cool, but Krika was cooler. Agreed. Agreed. Literally, since he cooled the air around him. I'm gonna turn on the background music, and I'm going to check this against the Wall of History. I'll see if the Wall of History says anything different. Maybe it mentions the misprint, or maybe I am wrong. Hold up. Alright, let's see. Mystica or Fantoka? It's probably Mystica. Swamp of Secrets. Trinity Takanuva. No, it's Fantoka. All Her Eye. Federation of Fear. Shadows in the Sky. No, I guess it's Matanui Rising. Yeah, here we go. Final Legend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 epilogue. What does Tapio have written down? 8, 9. Okay, so 9 is the... Tapio has a chapter 8. Let me look at the chapter 8 that's on the website. It starts Tahu Ignika and Galley stood alone in the Codex. Tahu Ignika and Galley stood alone in the Codex. Ooh, Tapio. Missed this, I think. Maybe I'm just confused. I should ask him. Yeah, I'll ask him about it, if I remember. Well, I'll message him right now. Who are the two people who are scheduled to do it? Packy and I. Packy, Nuva, and me.
Pain pickle.
Alright, cool. Cool. So I asked him about it. And hopefully he'll get back to me within the next couple days.
Pain pickle.
Alright. Pain? Why are you in pain? Oh, because, yeah. Pain. Will we redeem sounds? Will it disrupt your recordings? Not anymore, because I've recorded everything I can. I have not finished recording because I need to go back and record Antros and Chirox and... No, Chirox didn't say anything. Antros and Neutran and those Shadow Matoran, Photok and Tanma and Radiac and whatnot. I need to record their voices because I don't know what they sound like. I need to check my previous recordings and I need to check if I haven't voiced them. I need to check the recordings of the other people who have done audiobooks chapters with them in it so I can see what they're supposed to sound like. Because yeah, I don't want them to sound like ridiculously different. Because I remember in the Paraka arc, like one person made like Avok Australian and he was like the only person who voiced Avok as Australian. Or Avax, sorry. And it was kind of jarring to listen to one person have him be Australian and all the other people have him not be. So I want to try and at least keep the voices as similar as I can get them to what other people are doing. I mean, it was a cool take. It was a very cool take on him, but he was the only person who gave him that accent, I think. Anyway. I could also be misremembering. Let's see, what time is it? It's almost midnight. Alright, well. I can at least get out of here. Wuthering Waves update from what is that called? Epic Games. Let's listen through everything and let's delete all of like the really obvious bad stuff. Like the stuff that I had to do like 5 takes of. And then I'll see how far I get. Let's see how much patience I have for this. This is the hardest part of any audiobook section is the editing part. The recording is easy. I'm gonna turn off the background music. And I'm gonna listen to the recording. Vampra and Gorast blocked him. Oh, that was not the beginning. Bionicle Legends number 11, The Final Battle. Written by Greg Farshty. Recording by Nebulux. Chapter 7. Mutran was growing impatient. He had sent Vikan off after the clack a long time ago, and he had not returned, nor had the escaped Rahi. There was no excuse for this. Maybe it was time he gave Vikan a few extra wings, and maybe a tentacle or two to teach him to focus on his job. His grumbling ceased at the sight of Antros materializing in front of him. The crimson-armored Mikuta had made several short teleports to reach this part of the swamp, and his fatigue showed. "It is time," said Antros. Alright, I'm just gonna add bookmarks at all the places that I need to record stuff for. Antros. There we go. "It is time," said Antros. "We have to be prepared." Mutran furled and unfurled his small wings, a sure sign he was uneasy. He dropped his voice to a whisper and said, "Is this really wise, letting them..." Okay, add a label here. Oh, Control B, there's a shortcut for this. Antros shot a fierce look at Mutran. Okay, so... You know the plan? Antros shot a fierce look at Mutran. "You know the plan, you agreed to it and profited from it, and you will allow them to awaken Matanui and then eliminate them as a threat. Yes, they had to remain alive to do so, but we don't need to suffer their presence one moment past that." "Alright," said Mutran. "What do you want me to do? Find Radiac or another Shadow Matoran so my sight can be restored, then go help Gorest against Ignition. The plan is doomed." Mutran nodded and took to the air to carry out his new instructions. But knowing Antros... Mutran took to the air to carry out his new instructions. Okay, so let's get rid of that because I stuttered there. Make sure it sounds okay. Mutran took to the air to carry out his new instructions. But knowing Antros could not see him, he did not fly very fast. He saw no reason to... Mutran took to the air to carry out his new... I messed up. Alright, let's re-record this section. Control B, I think was the thing. There we go. Let's re-record this. So it's Mutran nodded and took to the air, and I said Mutran took to the air, so I skipped some words. What's up, Insane? Why are you in pain? Is it because I messed up so much? Understandable. Alright, Mutran nodded and took to the air to carry out his new instructions. But knowing Antros could not see him, he did not fly very fast. He saw no reason to fly headlong into the blades of Icarax. He saw no reason to fly headlong into the blades of Icarax. He saw no... Alright, and we'll just grab this. We'll just cut that. And I will put that over here. Mutran took to the air to carry out his new instructions, but knowing Antros could not see him, he did not fly very fast. He saw no reason to fly headlong into the blades of Icarax. There we go. We'll press it with that. Mutran nodded and took to the air to carry out his new instructions, but knowing Antros could not see him, he did not fly very fast. He saw no reason to fly headlong into the blades. There's like a random breath there that we don't need. Cut that out, easy peasy. See how that sounds? Not see him. He did not fly very fast. He saw no reason to fly head. Okay, that's still way too long of a pause. Let's cut it down some more. 2:47 here, so I'm gonna go to sleepy poo-pookins. Good night, chat. Good night, Neb. Good night, Icarax. God bless and have fun listening to your own voice. Good night, Moon. Good night, Crunchy Kong. Take care. Please get your 10 hours of sleep. Hopefully you can sleep into 1:00 p.m. tomorrow morning for you. Have good eep. I will not have fun listening to my own voice, but I will try to be productive.
He did not fly very fast. He saw no reason to fly
Alright, so now it's the right time, but my voice kind of cuts suddenly, so let's try it now.
Very fast. He saw no reason
There,
to fly
much
headlong
better.
into the blades.
Much better.
He did not fly very fast. He saw no reason to fly.
It's still a little long, but at least doesn't cut off suddenly. How about now?
Not fly very fast. He saw no reason to fly
Perfect.
headlong into the blades of Icarax.
Alright, there's a big old pause.
Gorast could have used the help. Icarax's strategy was as simple as...
So I'm gonna get rid of all the page turns. But I will need to come back
Icarax.
later.
Gorast could...
Okay, so I didn't delete enough of it. This should be good.
No reason to fly headlong into the blades of Icarax.
Oh,
Gorast.
there is a sudden thumph the sound there. Let's see if we can get rid of that thumph sound.
Into the blades of Icarax. Gorast
There's
could...
still a little peck noise, but it's not as bad as before.
Gorast could have used the help.
Oh, right.
Icarax's strategy to fly headlong into the blades of Icarax.
See,
Gorast
there's still like a p noise. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find a spot. Or here, I'm just gonna. There we go, and I'm just gonna shoehorn that in there instead of the Gorast bit. I don't know where I left off. Was it right here? No, that was Antros. Here.
Mutran nodded and took to the air to carry out his new instructions. But knowing
we
Antros
are.
could not see him, he did not fly very fast. He saw no reason to fly headlong into the blades of Icarax. Headlong into the blades of Icarax. Gorast could have used the help. Icarax's strategy was as simple as it was deadly. Slash open her armor, and then use laser vision to incinerate her energy as it leaked out. The success of this method had forced her to keep her distance from Icarax, and left Vampra alone in the fight.
Did I say Icarax? Is it Icarax or Icarax? I think it's Icarax. I'll just have to re-record it then, I guess. Wow, can't believe I mispronounced his name.
The success of this method had forced her to keep her distance from Icarax, and left Vampra alone in the fight.
I'll just copy that, or cut that, and go back over here.
Help. Icarax's strategy was as simple as it was deadly. Slash open her armor, and then use laser vision to incinerate her energy as it leaked out. The success of this method had forced her to keep her distance from Icarax, and left Vampra alone.
I missed it. That's the part that I needed to replace. The success of that method.
The success of this method had forced her to keep her distance from Icarax, and left Vampra alone in the fight. But now she had a plan of her own.
Alright, hopefully this doesn't sound too wonky.
Use laser vision to incinerate her energy as it leaked out. The success of this method had forced her to keep her distance from Icarax, and left Vampra alone in the fight. But now she had a plan of her own.
So the pauses sound a little awkward, but I think the sound of the passage kind of fits. I mean, you can kind of tell it was recorded separately, but like it's not that obvious, so I'll keep it. The question is, I gotta edit those scoot this down. I gotta edit those pauses because they do not. They sound very awkward indeed.
Her energy as it leaked out. The success of this method had forced her to keep her distance. As it leaked out. The success of this method.
Alright, cool. That one sounds good. Now for this one.
Vampra alone in the fight. But now she had a plan of her own. In combat.
Alright, cool. So if I just get rid of this, that should make it sound good, I think.
And left Vampra alone in the fight. But now she had a plan of her own.
Oh, that was not good sounding. Let me see if I can pinpoint what is making that noise.
Vampra alone in the fight. But now she had a...
I think it is just... Gotta make this bigger. Should be good now.
And left Vampra alone in the fight. But now she had a plan of her own.
There's still a little noise right before here. But it's not like as bad as it was before, but it's still there.
In the fight. But now she had a plan of her own. In the fight. But now she had a plan.
You get a little bigger? I can't really push it this way anymore. This is as far as I can get.
Vampra alone in the fight. But now she had a plan of...
Yeah, it's still making that little clacking noise. Doing something wrong.
Vampra alone in the fight. But now she had a... Vampra alone in the fight. But now she had a plan of her own. In combat, Icarax had no equal...
That's where it is. Okay, so it's happening right here. That's where that noise is. So what if... I do that.
And left Vampra alone in the fight. But now she had a plan of her own.
Okay, so it's a little unnatural sounding, but I think nobody's gonna notice. Are you winning? I'm making progress, I suppose, slowly but surely. Oh, speaking of, I should probably save. Save as, where's the save as? Save project. Save project as. Alright, here we go. And it's called chapter... This is Legends 11, Chapter 7. L11, CH7. Alright, save. Yeah, I don't know how much longer I'm gonna go with this, but just a little longer. I am making progress. I've gotten most of it recorded, except I need to go back and I need to look at the voices of some of the characters, because I have voiced them in previous chapters, and I want their voices to be consistent, and I don't want to just make up new voices for them. I want to reference the old voices and try and match them. And I need to do that. So there's some dialogue that has not been recorded. I skipped over it. But other than that, yeah, we're just editing. We've got the whole thing recorded and minus that dialogue, and yeah. Big ol' battle. I'm probably gonna be doing this tomorrow too. But yeah. Surprised you're still awake. Aren't you gonna eat for a billion hours like a kitty cat? I'm happy to have you here. Alright, I'm gonna push play. Alright, where am I in the book? I am somewhere about... I was just editing that soundbite this whole time.
And left Vampra alone in the fight.
Here we are.
But now she had a plan of her own. In combat, Icarax had no equal, but his love of battle could also be...
See, I called Icarax there
too. In the fight. But now she had a plan of her own. In combat, Icarax had no equal, but his love of battle could also be a weakness. But in combat, Icarax had...
Alright, so I duplicate it here.
But now she had a plan of her own. In combat, Icarax had no equal, but his love of battle could also be a weakness. Icarax had no equal, but his love of battle could also be a weakness. Goras knew.
Alright, cool. So all of this can get cut out. Let me keep as much of the spaces as possible in case I have to trim some of it. But there we go. Where's the little here marker? It's gone. Alright, whatever.
But now she had a plan of her own. In combat, Icarax had no equal, but his love of battle plan of her own. In combat, Icarax had no equal.
Alright, so I'm gonna get rid of all of this.
But now she had a plan of her own. In combat, Icarax.
Oh yeah, it sounds kind of weird.
Plan of her own. In combat, Icarax had no equal, but his love of battle.
Let's try that instead.
Now she had a plan of her own. In combat, Icarax had no equal, but his love of battle could also be a weakness. Goras knew this well, for it was a weakness she shared. Still, for her scheme to work.
Alright, I was not paying attention to the, what I was saying. I need to fact check this against the, book to make sure I didn't drop any words or mispronounce any words. Found a baby Nikita? Aw, baby. She cute. Thank you for sharing this very important message.
Icarax had no equal, but his love of battle could also be a weakness. Goras knew this well, for it was a weakness she shared. Still, for her scheme to work, she needed a distraction. That was when she spotted Mutran, far off to the west. He was dispatching a shadow Matoran.
Up. I messed up.
He was dispatching a shadow Matoran on some unknown mission.
Alright, so it looks like I'm gonna have to get rid of that, but not this. There we go. That should be okay.
That was when she spotted Mutran, far off to the west. He was dispatching a shadow Matoran on some unknown mission, and when that was done, he glanced toward where Vampra and Icarax were fighting. He looked about as eager to join that battle as a Matoran of stone is to join a group swim. Too bad the fool doesn't have a choice, Goras said to herself as she...
Oh yeah.
Too bad the fool doesn't have...
I remember messing up there.
He looked about as eager to join that battle as a Matoran of stone is to join a group swim. Too bad the fool doesn't have a choice, Goras said to herself as she...
Alright, and actually... Did I mess up again after that? I don't remember. Let's just delete that. Move my little marker. Boink. It's a very helpful little marker. Especially since all of the audio just looks exactly the same.
Of stone is to join a group swim. Too bad the fool doesn't have a choice, Goras said to herself as she shot toward him. Before Mutran could protest, she was dragging him toward the scene of the clash. I do have a voice for Goras.
I need you to send your thoughts.
Okay, delete that.
Him toward the scene of the clash.
I need you to send your thoughts into...
She was dragging him toward the scene of the clash.
I need you to send...
Still too long of a pause.
Him toward the scene of the clash.
I need you to send your thoughts into...
I don't know. Is that too long or too short? Now, I can't tell.
Him toward the scene of the clash.
I need you to send your thoughts
It's a little short.
Toward the scene of the clash.
I need you to send your
Oh, that's a lot better. That's a lot better.
toward the scene of the clash.
I need you to send your thoughts into Icarus's mind, she hissed. Any thoughts, screams, babble, anything so that he does not pick up on what I am sending to Vampra.
Mutran nodded. That seemed relatively safe. Safer, at any rate, than saying no to an ingrate. Safer, at any rate, to sit. Safer, at any rate, than. Safer, at any rate, than saying no to an ingrate. Safer, at any rate, to sit. Alright, delete all that. Aww. Let me think about it, Calmage. If you're tired, you should go eat. Go to sleep. Go honk shoe. Why'd you pin that? Eat? Huh? Go eep. Eep. Sleep. Eep is shorthand for sleep. Alright, I do need to scoot this on over. Alright, let's see. I'm probably going to be ending soon. Probably within the next 15 minutes, I would say. I'll probably finish this up tomorrow. But yeah. If you're still up in 15 minutes, I can give you a call. But what's the plan for tomorrow? I have an appointment in the morning. So I'm going to wake up. Depending on how late I sleep in, I'll stream for an hour or two. And then if I sleep in a lot, then I'm just going to go straight to the appointment. And then after the appointment, I am going to stream all day. And then at night, I have another appointment. And that's it. That's the plan. And then after that other appointment, I'm probably going to stream some more. See if I can knock out the subathon tomorrow. That's my goal. Because if I could finish it before Friday, that would make my life easy. Because there's a lot of stuff that's going on Friday. There's D&D on Friday, right? Ark? Question mark? Have we permanently moved it to Friday? I'll try to stream all day. Yeah, I got something in the morning and something at night. But in the whole rest of the day? So Ark said he wanted to do Saturday this week. Okay, that's good to know. I would hopefully at some point we'll be able to get on a regular schedule for this thing so we always know what day we're going to be showing up on. But yeah, Saturday works for me. As long as it's before or after, I don't know, Calmage and I have a thing that we do on Saturday. But anyway. Yeah, that works. Alright, 15 more minutes, and then eep time. Seemed relatively safe. Safer, at any rate, than saying no to an enraged Gorast.
Then do it now!
Okay, that sounds really bad, though. I don't like the way that sounds. I'm gonna have to re-record that. Safer, at any rate, than saying no to an enraged Gorast. Alright, grab that, slap it back in the here and now. Safer, at any rate, than saying no to an enraged Gorast.
Then do it now!
Alright. Got that all queued up. That seemed relatively safe. Safer, at any rate, than saying no to an enraged Gorast.
Then do it now!
Mew Transcendent I'm gonna have to tweak the...
Actually, maybe I will call it for the day. Oh, hey, Stream Raiders isn't up. Is it actually not up? It is actually not up. Oopsie daisy. No, let me get it down to 10 even, and then we're gonna head out. So, in that case, I'm gonna wait for it to get to 5 even, and then I'm gonna start winding down, because it takes about 5 minutes to do the whole send-off, and then, yeah, so 5 more minutes of editing, then the send-off, and then I'll end the stream at exactly the 10-hour mark. Let's go. Nice and easy. Where am I? That seemed relatively safe. Safer, at any rate, than saying no to an... Huh, weird. So it's this bit. Yeah. Relatively safe. Safer, at any rate. So it's a little rushed. I need to... Can I extend this? Effect. Compression? No. Tempo? Change tempo? Oh, nope, undo. That made it shorter. I want it longer. There we go. Relatively safe. Safer, at any rate. Relatively safe. Safer, at any rate. See, no, that's not gonna work. I need to add something in right here. A pause. I need to add a pause in right there. I don't need to. I don't need to slow it down or speed it up. It just needs a thing right there, and that's far too long of a pause, so I'm gonna just do that. That seemed relatively safe. Safer, at any rate, than saying no to an enraged Gorast. Then do it now! Alright, that sounds good to me. That actually sounds pretty good to me. Then do it now! Mutran sent a telepathic wave of white noise at Icarax. As he did so, Gorast sent a mental message of her own to Vampra. Once she was sure it had been received, she moved in to attack. Gavla had made her way back to Vampra's back. Whatever. Let's save. Save project. Alright, and that's it. And we're at the 5-minute mark, so let's start winding down for the night. There we go. So we got how many pages into editing? Not very many. So are we counting a page as a front and a back? If we are, we've done 1.5 pages. Not a lot. Yeah. Well, we're at 3 minutes out of 20. But then again, as you can see, I'm cutting out a lot of random pauses and whatnot. And there's this big long section that's
30 seconds. I've cut out 30 seconds of pauses and random talking and mess ups. So a lot of this is going to get trimmed down. It's probably going to be about like 12 minutes to, in the total project instead of 20. I can delete these last couple things too. Delete. 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 I'll keep this as a sample of blank noise that I can use for pauses if I need pauses. Church? Yes, church. Alright, I think that is good for today then. So I'm going to get everything set up for you guys. Let's see, we need this set up with oh, wait a second. This I don't know how much time is left on this playlist. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. About 7.5 hours. So it's probably gonna run out before I, yeah, it's probably gonna run out long before I, no, I don't want to do this. Long before I wake up tomorrow. So I'm gonna have to add to the subathon. So what do we have on the subathon? Started with that. I'll add some more stuff to it. Please don't sing the song. Go away. Alright. Playlist. So we've added live videos. Okay. So I believe I have so I don't have this one on the playlist. I can add that. Okay. Race to Legendary 2. Do I have that on the list? I do not have that on the list. So let's add that. Do I have all of the mecha are mine? I think that's the one we're watching right now. Yes, it is. We do have that one. The Aftermath of the New War. Do I have that one on here? I do not. I'm so disappointed. I'm so disappointed that I lost my New War stream. That's one of my biggest disappointments. Alright, that should be enough. Alright, we're at the 217 mark. That should be enough.
Pain pickle.
Wait, 7 out of 10. I added way more than that. Wait, it only added Aftermath of the New War. What?
Pain pickle.
Why are you in pain? Why are you guys in pain? I sent you a rare Nahi. Aww, Nahihi.
Pain pickle.
Save to playlist. It's on it already. Did you guys already watch this?
Pain pickle.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Refresh. It says 9.
Oh, there's a Firefox there.
What is going
Pain
on?
pickle.
Why are you pain pickling?
Pain pickle.
Sister.
Pain pickle. 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 Pain pickle.
Have you guys got it out of your system? Whoopsies, did not mean to do that.
Pain pickle.
Ah, right, now I've lost track of all the things that I've added.
Pain pickle.
Oh yeah, the Dragon Fable speedruns. I remember those. Oh yeah. Oh, these are some old streams. Oh, let's add the super hots. Random streams. That's super hot number 1 and super hot number 2. Alright, we should be good now. So if I go here to random streams and I refresh, they have 12 of them.
Part of the team.
Alright, and there we go. We are all good. Oh, look at all these pain pacos. Hello to Funkiest Monkey. Alright, cool. Everyone's all good. Everyone's all taken care of. Nobody is in pain anymore. Let me, whoops, wrong one. Wrong one. Let's go over here. Let's turn on EBNeb. Everybody's in pain nowadays. Alright, let me change the game to I'm sleeping. And change the game to sleeping. Done. Alright, that should have updated now. Alright, so you guys have fun. Please enjoy the VOD. Yes, I'll pause the clock when I leave.
Are you sure about that?
Oh, Steven. Hey, you're still lurking, I see. Nice. Alright, clock will be paused as soon as I leave. We are going to be... I'm going to go to bed. I will see you guys in the morning. Again, I have an appointment in the afternoon. And then I have stuff I gotta do at night. So, I will wake up in the morning. If I do not sleep in, like, really late, then I'll stream in the morning. And then I will leave for my appointment. And then I'll come back, stream some more until night. And hopefully we can get these last 10 hours taken care of. Alright, I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you a bajillion times over for all of the subathon progress. And for being cool with sitting through me recording some audiobooks. And I will see you guys tomorrow. And remember, if you're ever sad that you can't kill anyone IRL, just know that you can always kill them with kindness. Bye-bye!